In this essay, we're going to be taking a look at the gap block. The gap block is blocking with the area of the stick between the two hands. If you want to, you can take a peek at the ancestry of the gap block by examining old quarterstaff fighting. This is the type of stick fighting that Robin Hood was known for. This is one of the very rudiments of quarterstaff fighting. It's called the 7-step drill. Now, the reason I'm showing this quarterstaff technique is just to simply point out that the idea of gap blocking is a very old and a very legitimate one. In order to get people over the idea that they're going to be receiving hard blows in a very small space between their hands, we desensitize them by doing this mutual drill, where an attacker attacks the gap between their hands while they slowly decrease the size of the gap. Once we get a fighter climatized to actually getting a stick impacting right between their hands in there, and they get a little less nervous about it, we can then move them on to their angle defenses. And that means using the gap block to deal with the attacks coming in from all the different angles. Once the fighters are experienced and comfortable with their angle defenses, we mix things up and compound the sequences.
Double under and over.
Inexperienced fighters look at what we do and they look at those small gaps between our hands and think that that small a difference is just impractical to be used as a defense. Let's take a look at a little clip here that's done barehanded at full speed and in full force. You can see the fighter in plaid here is in standard MSP grip, but he shifts right down to a very shallow 2-inch grip, and then 1 frame later, he's got that block between his two hands and then scores. Is it easy? No. Can you learn it by watching a video? No. It takes years of practice, but it's worth it. A good strong thrust into the throat area after the gap block provides one of those really easy to do yet devastating attacks. My favorite thing about this attack is how it capitalizes on a person's natural instinct to guard something being thrust at their neck. And with that rising motion, it actually drives the stick up into their own chin. The beat and attack. A classic and one of my favorites. When I was a bouncer, I probably laid out a dozen guys using this move. And the secret to making it effective is to try and time the gap block and the attack to be simultaneous. The closer you can get those two to happening at the same time, the more success you're going to have with this move. The backdoor Santa is any move where you attack the opponent's lower third of his stick when he's in a single grip, and you use that fulcrum to get him to hit himself in the head. This is that move using the gap block as the jump-off point. The elevator block is a fantastic contingency block for after attempting a backdoor Santa. What it is an ergonomic follow-through to protect yourself from missing the bottom third on that attack. If you miss the bottom third of the stick, you're really open to a backhand. Let's take this clip specifically. Watch when I let it go. Watch how effortlessly I can just lift that stick as it graces right over top of my head.